Now that we understand a little bit about how Style Builder is put together, let's go ahead and use that to create our own custom styles. We can create these styles either from existing Google SketchUp styles, ones that we've already created or that Google has created, or we can create our own custom styles by scanning in our own pencil drawings or just drawing them on a tablet and using those bitmaps to create our strokes. Now, the first thing we're going to do is just use an existing Google SketchUp style to create a new style. So let's go ahead into Strokes and say Load from Style. Now, we can load from a style that we've already saved out or from one that comes with SketchUp. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to load from something that actually comes with SketchUp. And so the ones that come with SketchUp, they're actually in the program folder. So what you have to do is you actually have to go to the Google SketchUp 7 directory. Now that may change depending on whether you're on a PC or on a Mac. But once you find that, you'll see that there's a styles folder within that. And these are all of our basic styles. So we have assorted color sets and so on. In fact, if I go over to SketchUp, you can see that I've got that same list here. And these are really just the folders that are in that directory. So let's go back over to Style Builder. And let's go into Sketchy Edges. And we've got a number of different styles here. So for example, one of the ones we have here is chalk on a blackboard. So let's go ahead and open that. And you can see that we have basically chalky lines, lines that look like they were drawn with chalk. If we go and load from style again and just go into that same folder, you can see we have another one called Dry Erase Marker Wide. And that has a whole different look. So depending upon what type of bitmap you put in there, you can create all sorts of different lines. So for example, I could take the chalk on a chalkboard, drag them in here, and you can see that when I drag the 32 pixel line, it creates all the short lines in the model. If I took something a little bit longer, say the 128, drag that in, we can see it creates the longer lines. Now in this Sets window, we also have the ability to customize how many lines and also the maximum length of the lines. So here I have 32 all the way up to 512 pixel lines, which means that I have to have corresponding bitmaps for those. Now if I want to, I can, for example, get rid of some of these. So for example, if I don't want a 512, I can just hit this X here and that gets rid of it. If I want to put it back, I can just use this menu here to add in 512 again, and we can go up to 1024 width lines. We can also change the width of the line. So if we want narrower lines, so for example like an ink pen or something like that, or if we want really wide lines, we can also do that. Now I'm going to leave this at 16. We can also change the maximum number of strokes or the maximum number of variations within these. So for example, if I wanted a lot more variations, I could bring that up to say 5. Or if I wanted to bring it down to say 2, I could do that as well. Now once you have this configured the way you want, all you really have to do is just drag in the images you want. So for example, here I could drag in some more chalk type lines. Or if I wanted to, I could mix and match. So for example, I could have some chalk, some dry erase. And that may give a good look, something that you might like. But you could also mix and match from all sorts of different sets. And this is just one way to create kind of a custom sort of look. So for example, for the longer lines, maybe I'll just use dry erase marker for the really long lines. And see how that works. And then just use chalk for some of the shorter lines. But as you can see, we've got this all kind of mixing and matching, and it seems to work pretty well. Now you can use really lines from just about any style within Google SketchUp if you're using this method, and you might be able to mix and match a style that you like.